Alumni Field in Wilmington, Ohio. You see the big W at the middle of the field here, the home of the Wilmington Hurricane and the site of tonight's. Are we already in week 4? High school football game between the Wilmington Hurricane and the Ross Rams. Good evening, everybody. Joel Sackenheim, along with Dan Conway, a.k.a. Cheez-It, and my dad, Neil Sackenheim, here with you. Dan, welcome back for another week of high school football, sir.
Well, you know what they say. I'm not ready.
Not ready.
Not quite ready.
Not quite ready. Dan, Ross and Wilmington, both teams starting off 1-2 this season. Kind of a little disappointing, but rebuilding as well. It's like it's not unexpected, but they could be more.
Well, part of it is when you play tough teams, you're going to have tough losses. When you look at Ross, they open up the season at Wyoming.
That's a hard game.
It's basically the equivalent of scheduling a loss to start the year. You know, I mean, Wyoming, the Cowboys, they know what they're doing. Physical football team, very smart football team.
Never lose regular season games.
Yeah, it's like 40-something straight at this point almost. And so Wyoming, and you know what? It was within 2 touchdowns. Ross was competitive. Then the next week they host Mount Healthy. Got away from it a little bit. Yeah, they scored a lot of points. But at the same time, Mount Healthy is 2-1. And you're going to hear that name here in a little bit again. And then Ross, you know what they did last week?
They played Northwest.
That's
Northwest. Like the opposite of scheduling Wyoming.
You know what? But hey, 34-0. You have to be good to blank somebody that bad.
Ross has got some young defenders, and we talked to Coach Commons before the game on the field. He said they got 5 sophomores starting in the defensive side of the ball. And so last week, in a way, was kind of a get-right game for them against Northwest. The shutout is going to give them some confidence as they come here into Alumni Field.
Well, polar opposite. You give up 62 points against Mount Healthy, and then you shut out Northwest. That confidence is going to breed over. Let's see if it can carry over for another week here against Wilmington, because right now Ross is trying to do something that's impossible, Joel, and that's tame a hurricane.
Tame a hurricane, but just one hurricane. There are not multiple hurricanes in Wilmington. It just, if you look at the end zone, and Neil, if you can zoom into the right end zone there, you can see clearly in the end zone, it is just one hurricane.
Well, that's good. I don't think we can deal with 3 like Louisiana.
That'd be very difficult. That's true. Emery Severance, Lucas Kunkel. We're going to be calling their names a lot tonight for Ross. Emery Severance, number 1, the quarterback. Lucas Kunkel, number 5, the fullback. They're within about 30 yards of each other for the team lead in rushing, trying to replace Riley Caldwell, who had a huge game last year against Wilmington. What do you have, 4 touchdowns and 194
4 touchdowns,
yards?
194 yards. That's called getting it done right there.
And, of course, he's playing now for Findlay in college, and so Ross has had to replace him, but you know they're going to play hard. The Ross Rams, they always play hard.
Exactly. And the triple option offense, it really sheds light. They can run the football, they can be physical, and they are rarely out of games. You talked to Wilmington's coach before the game, and he said Coach Commons is a good coach. He knows what he's doing. These boys are disciplined, and they are smart football players.
Coach Ryan Evans Jr. of Wilmington, this is his 3rd year here coaching at the helm of the Hurricane. And yes, indeed, he was very complimentary of Coach Commons before the game when we talked to him, saying this is a coaching staff, not just Coach Commons, but the entire coaching staff, very experienced, very seasoned. And he said what he loves about him is these guys know exactly who they are, exactly what they want to do,
yes.
And they say basically, come bring it, come get it. Now, the opposite of that is Wilmington, and Wilmington is going to show up with a multiple approach. They're going to run some triple options, some spread. They're going to have multiple formations. Coach Evans even said they're run heavy, but Coach Commons are like they're really balanced and keep you guessing. So even talking to the 2 coaches about Wilmington's offense before the game, no one's quite sure exactly what the, quote, Wilmington offense looks like.
Well, we know what the structure is going to be. Physical and very, very intelligently run. As they welcome here onto the field, Wilmington coming on to the fight song here.
Very, very shiny helmets you were talking about before the game, Dan.
I know. I really want to buy one, but I don't think it'll go home with me.
You see all the speckles of metallic orange.
Well, and if you look, they got little helmet stickers, the little emblems on there, the little mini hurricanes. Really well done. I was staring at those when we were interviewing the coach before the game, trying to figure out what was on this kid's helmet, and then I realized it's not a Buckeye leaf. It's a helmet sticker.
It's a helmet sticker. A mini hurricane. Does that make it a tropical storm? That's what I want to know.
Well, hopefully we can avoid tropical depressions and have a good game tonight.
I was a little disappointed. The speckles on the helmets were real brilliant, but the sun went down.
Yeah.
Much brighter during.
Oh, yeah,
when
with
the sun was
hitting
still up.
them. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's
So we got a
so
big
interesting because
shadow
when the
of the
sun's
field.
out, you can see Ross's yellow numbers on white jerseys better, and you can see the speckles coming off of the Wilmington helmets. The sun's going to go down. It's going to make it harder to see the yellow numbers, I think, on Ross's jersey, and Wilmington's helmets will look a little more normal, I suppose, under the nighttime lights.
I don't know. We'll see. There's a little bit of that prime time view with your, the sun down and the lights on. We'll see.
Very glitzy. We'll have to keep an eye. Several students, football players for the Hurricane, looking at possible college offers. Who are their key players there, Dan?
Well, you're looking at Zane Smith. He's a senior. He's number 9. He's got looks from Tiffin, from Findlay, and from Mount St. Joe's. He's going to get around. We'll see. You've also got Jake Stevens. That's their quarterback. He's getting looked at from Mount St. Joe's. You also hear that out of senior Bryson. I believe it's Shoot. Is that how it is? Shooty.
Yeah.
And then Malachi Cumberland, he's also getting looked at by Thomas Moore as well. He's got to take care of a couple things in the classroom, but when he does that, he'll be successful.
Looks like, is that number 16, A.J. Sparks, to kick things off
It
for
is.
Ross. Kind of pooches it toward the 25-yard line. It's caught inbounds by Wilmington. That is number 4, Jesse Keith, returning things. Another student that was thought to be possibly looking at some college offers. He's only a junior, though, Dan.
He is a junior, yeah. Good return right there. Great field position to start the game here. If you're Wilmington, get your offensive line going. I'm really excited to see Braxton Starkey, the center. He's got terrific hair. That means he's got to be a great football player. Braxton, don't let me down here.
First down and 10 for the Hurricane. Ball is at their own 38-yard line. Pretty good field position to start the opening drive for Wilmington. I'd say going from left to right across your radio dial, but you guys can see tonight thanks to Neil Sackenheim and Chris Voigt's camera. So enjoy from Wilmington. First down and 10, Hurricane. And a handoff goes up to the middle to the big rumbling fullback Bryson Shooty. And Shooty is going to go forward for about 3 yards.
If you look right there, all 11 players from Ross are in the camera picture right now within a span of 3 yards. They are going to try to take away the running game. Let's see if number 12, Jake Stevens, the quarterback, can beat him.
Rally to the tackler. Second down and 7 for Wilmington. Still in the shotgun formation. They have trips receivers to the bottom side of the screen, right side of the formation. Once again, Shooty, the fullback, back there with the quarterback, Stevens. Stevens going to go ahead and 3-step drop this, and it's caught. Stevie Rickman. Rickman's going to break a tackle. He's across the 20, all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Wilmington.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that to start if you're Wilmington. You spread them out. They didn't have 3 DBs out there to cover. And Stevie Rickman going to take advantage. Jake Stevens, that's a great way to pad your stat line. They didn't guard your guy. You found him open, and he's going to make touchdowns every time.
Jake Stevens.
So coming in to kick is going to be
Rickman.
Dylan Groves. He's a junior. To make the extra point here.
Hold is down, kick is up, kick is good. And the Wilmington Hurricane. Little storm surge here early, Dan.
The jokes are writing themselves right now. The thing with me that stood out, Ross did not cover the wide receiver out of the break. Just a really smart play. I don't know if Jake Stevens checked off with the receiver or what happened exactly, but he got the ball out quick, it got caught quick, and Wilmington is on the scoreboard even quicker.
Well, Coach Evans said we want to run the ball. That's our first identity. Coach Commons wasn't quite buying that when he said they got multiple attacks. The first play was a fullback dive directly up the center, and you did rightly mention that all 11 Ross Rams defenders were rallying to the tackle. It didn't look like Ross's pass defense was quite so attuned to a pass play on second down there.
You can see Wilmington has a lot of speed on this team. Once again, Stevie Rickman, well done. You got in space and you didn't get tackled.
Beautiful throw also by Stevens. It went just over the head of the linebacker.
Yeah.
Could have been intercepted if it was a hair lower trajectory, but the little float on the pass, if you're controlling the controller in Madden, that's where you tap the button instead of hold it down for the bullet pass. Here's
Great
the kickoff
right there.
to the 7-yard line, and the Ross Rams going to return this thing out past the 20. Looks like that's the quarterback Severance, also the deep man for the Rams.
Strange having the quarterback return a kick like that, Joel.
Well, Emory Severance, might be listed as a quarterback, but I think the more traditional position you could put him is just simply athlete. And Ross has had that for a little while now because I believe Riley Caldwell is athlete, and several of these guys that have been playing quarterback under Coach Commons' system have not been trained up as a classic quarterback, but rather have been the best running back available, the best wide backer available, and then as people ahead of them graduate, they end up taking snaps under center and making the primary reads.
Makes sense.
Triple option. Man in motion. That's number 41, Evan Gabbard, in motion for the Rams. And this is the handoff up the middle to the fullback. That's Kunkel. And Kunkel's going to punch that ball through for a 20-yard rush. Wow.
So something that stood out to me was this. The football field is 53.5 yards long, right?
Wide.
Or wide, yeah,
Yes.
Thank you. The Ross wide receivers were standing on one side of the field and on another side of the field. They are clearly trying to spread out this defensive front. It is big, physical, and fast, and nothing makes a defensive front slower than handing the ball off to the fullback and saying, oh, shoot.
1st and 10 for Ross. Once again, handoff up the middle to Kunkel. Kunkel is brought down and tackled. It looks like number 13, Rodney Goings, the freshman, involved in the tackle there for Wilmington.
Gotta love a freshman willing to come in. You're on varsity. He's not scared.
Second down and 5, and we got 2 receivers now going to the bottom side of the screen. And yes, number 15 there, Sam Markham, is the loneliest man on the whole field, just standing there for the love of the game, it looks like. I formation, up the middle. Kunkel, wrapped up. Defensive line, Wilmington number 55, Malachi Cumberland, the senior. You said Thomas Moore was interested in him, yes?
I feel like more teams are going to be interested after watching that play. Beat the left tackle on the ball, came down, and made a big stop right there.
3rd down and 6. Ross's entire playbook's still open here at midfield. They could try to run this 2 consecutive plays and pick it up that way if they don't get it here on 3rd down.
That is what I would expect out of Ross with a triple option. 3rd down is an important down in every playbook, but especially here with the Ross offense, 3rd down leads into 4th.
Much more condensed formation. Little trick on the handoff there, but Kunkel's going to have it, and he's going to get basically nothing. And we have a clock stoppage. That's because a helmet flew off on the play.
Looks like Cumberland is in there again on the tackle.
Evan Gabbard, the tight end in motion, was the one that lost his helmet on the play, and it looks like Wilmington's defense is held. And with 4th and 6, it looks like Coach Commons has little interest in gambling this early in the game and going for a 4th down.
Well, he feels like the deck is more loaded. It's like in blackjack. The more cards there are, the more likely there is to be something good.
4th and 6 for Ross as the 11th man comes onto the field now. And the Rams punting unit looking to flip the field. And there's a whistle that blows, and we have a timeout taken by Ross. Dan, we asked before the game, Coach Commons, about what of Wilmington is the most challenging to you. What problems does Wilmington present you? And he doesn't even hesitate. The first thing he said was their defensive line is really good.
Well, and you saw it right there. The D-line, the fullback went right past them on the first play, but after that they kind of stood in there, held their ground, and even pushed Ross back a little bit. 4th and 5 is not easy to pick up, and so we're going to see a punt here out of Emory Severance.
The kicker, punter, return man, quarterback.
There's a chance he's going to bring me a cheeseburger at halftime.
Severance is back there. It's a long way off to the concession stand, though.
It is.
It's a spacious campus here.
Hey, we're getting our
at
steps
Wilmington.
in. Elijah Stewart's going to be back deep, the junior for Wilmington.
Bad snap, but no rush. Severance going to left-footed punt this thing over the head of the return man. It's going to bounce into the end zone. Elijah Stewart unable to field it, lets it go, and so Wilmington is going to get the ball. Praise God for high school football. We actually know the rules at the 20-yard line.
So it's not like the NFL where
a touchback could be any one of 5 different positions, right?
Someday we'll learn the rules. 8:27 left here in the first quarter. Wilmington 7, Ross nothing.
I kind of expect, Dan, the NFL is going to have a rule change mid-season this year. They're not getting the returns that they wanted off of this new thing. A lot of touchbacks these first week and first game. of week 2.
Yeah, but the Cardinals got a touchdown, so
That's right.
That was the one thing.
Which
yeah.
makes it more likely they're going to kick touchbacks. Nobody's going to want to mess with that. Quarterback dropping back
time.
Over the head and out of bounds, intended for Stevie Rickman, the one who caught the touchdown on the previous offensive play. Stevens, and he didn't have much of a window to throw that football.
He didn't. It looked like they only brought 3. Ross not trying to get pressure there, but trying to drop 8 into coverage. Jake Stevens making the smart decision to throw the ball where only his guy could get it, the line holding up.
2nd down and 10 for the Wilmington Hurricane. Continuing to attack out of the shotgun formation, and there's a flag for a sideline warning, it looks like, on Ross.
Huh.
So apparently they had too many people on the field or coaches coming onto the field. So that's just a warning the first time it happens. The next time it happens, it is a 15-yard penalty. So Ross has wasted their sideline warning less than 4 minutes into this ball game. Substitutions coming in for Wilmington. 2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Joel, I'm waiting for the challenge on the sideline warning.
So the red flag on the field?
Yeah, make sure that they really step on the grass.
Man in motion. This is a toss.
Number
to
43.
Schutte. Schutte is not going to get a lot of yardage there as number 53, Blake Holmes, makes the tackle. And where is Blake Holmes getting interest from, Dan?
How about none other than Dartmouth?
Dartmouth, the
One of
Big
those-
Green and
yeah.
the Ivy League.
Yeah. He's not only smart, but he's talented at football, too. Dartmouth's got a pretty good little football program. Like you said, the Big Green. Have contended for the national championship. Granted, it's been 110 years since, but you know what?
It's been a little bit in the FCS for Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Holmes can bring some extra defense there. 3rd down, 3-step drop, quick little hitch to Rickman.
Steve Rickman, yeah.
Rickman, a 1st down, 15 yards. And this is a tricky thing because Ross defensively, you got burned by Rickman before. So you want to tend to drop back instinctively to not give up something over the top. But then on a 3rd down and basically 10, you're giving up a 15-yard pass play.
Exactly. You got to play a little bit less vanilla here if you're Ross. Good decision there once again by Jake Stevens, the quarterback, and an accurate football with an offensive line picking up the blitz.
1st and 10 for the Hurricane. And there's the handoff up the middle to the scat back and a possible face mask if the referee saw it, or maybe he just got a fistful of jersey. But that is Joe Puller, the sophomore, from the backfield running it. Got spun around, and referee opts to say it was fistful of jersey and no flag. 2nd down and 8 for the Hurricane.
I like the counter move in there. You try to get an offensive lineman pulling. You haven't had success just running the ball straight at them. Try to mix it up a little bit there. Great decision. Stick with that running game.
4 wide receivers now for the Hurricane. Spread shotgun formation. Running back into block, 4 receivers en route. He's got a man. Incomplete, intended for Elijah Stewart on a post pattern over the middle, and that was not off by much, Dan.
Yeah, Elijah Stewart was open right there. Ross playing his zone. 3 guys rushing, 8 guys dropping back. All the time in the world right now for Jake Stevens. He just a little bit excited. When you see a receiver that open, you get happy feet.
He didn't miss by much. Ross dodges a bullet. Now they got a 3rd down and 8 that they have to defend.
Yep.
And I can see where Coach Commons is a little concerned defensively. Wilmington can do a lot of things on offense.
Looks like they're going to bring a blitz there off the left side. Stevens going to
Short, flat route, but it's going to end up out of bounds short of the 1st down. Zane Smith receives this. He's going to be about 3 yards short, and you think Wilmington probably punts here and plays field position with Ross?
Yes, they just pulled Stevens off as the punter or as the quarterback. Actually, they might. No, they're going to punt this here.
This could be a classic 4th and flinch situation if you wanted to put somebody on offense and see if Ross would jump.
6:53 left in the first quarter. We'll see what happens here.
It's looking like a massive substitution. This is probably going to be a punt formation here. Looks like Ross is sending Brant Kugler back to return. Late substitutions here. They're going to have a hard time getting the snap off in time. We're down below 10 seconds on the play clock as Wilmington finally gets their punter on the field.
Dylan Groves. That's the punter's name.
32. And the ball is a fake. Up the middle it goes, and a 1st down. Bryson Schutte, the fullback, is the up man on the play. Well, That's one way to convert a first down.
I mean, hey, be aggressive right there. It makes sense. You know what? Go for it here. This game last year in the fourth quarter featured 4 lead changes. These two teams are very even. They're both 1-2. They both really need this one if they're going to get a home playoff game. Be aggressive early. I love the decision there by Coach Ryan Evans Jr.
My sister Morgan was showing me last night at Roosters. We were watching the Bills and Dolphins and showing me a meme of Dan Campbell on The Price is Right with a 95-cent saying, "I think I'll spin, Drew." That was kind of like that. Shooty up the middle, and he is wrapped up by number 36, Nolan Ponder. And Ponder didn't let him go much farther, but we're now going to have a face mask tacked on at the end of the play.
Looks like it's going to be there on number 9, I believe, Brant Kugler. He's a junior. Kind of came in a little bit late, a little over-aggressive, maybe trying to send a message after the punt or something. I don't know. Ref making a good call early.
It's going to be 15 yards, Dan. It's a personal foul. They're going to be all the way down to the 35-yard line. Great field position for the Hurricane.
I like the fact that a couple years ago that they got rid of the 5-yard face mask, but when they call it on my team, I hate that they got rid of the 5-yard face mask.
Indeed, indeed.
I formation here.
Yeah, different formation indeed for Wilmington.
Coming downhill.
Handoff up the middle, and this is a different running back as well, Lucas Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson tries to bounce it outside. Look at that. Again, Ross, you got 11 guys in the camera there. They are rallying to the football defensively.
Yeah, the phrase speed is coming to mind here with Ross. The thing about their defense, they're not as big as they were last year. A lot of sophomores, they're playing hard, they're playing fast, they're playing loose. That's where that counterplay is going to come in. Wilmington needs to keep setting that up, maybe set up some kind of reverse, flea flicker, do something to get this Ross defense, which is going hard one way, to go the other way.
Coach Common said that Ross's line is a little lighter but a little more athletic than last year, and that can be both good and bad because its own advantages and its own disadvantages. Advantage there for Ross as number 10, Zach Otto in the backfield breaking up that play on the handoff to Shooty.
Interesting there that they switched the running backs. Lucas Johnson switching with Shooty. The previous play, Lucas was dotting the I. That play, Shooty was dotting the I.
3rd down and 6. What do you think? Dan, pass play here, 3-step drop, or hand the ball off and cross them up?
I think that you fake, you do a bootleg, get him going to the left, or hard play action on the right, get him going to the left, and have something going that way.
You got a tight end and 2 running backs in this formation. And they're going to have max protect and a running lane for Stevens. There's going to be a hold called.
There's going to be a hold.
He's got enough for the first down if it stands, but it's not going to stand.
No, it looks like the hold is going to be there on 62, Braxton Starkey. He's the starting center there for him.
And the flag was 6 yards in the backfield, so they're going to march in high school football the foul off not from the line of scrimmage, but actually from, I believe, the spot of the hold.
Ooh, that's kind of ugly. Well, that's the situation?
Well, no, it looks like they're doing it from the line of scrimmage.
Okay, that's
okay.
Good.
So 10 yards from the line of scrimmage only, it appears. And so it's going to be 3rd down and 16 now for the Hurricane.
I mean, that's kind of a situation where the cop pulls you over and says, it's only a $150 fine, not $175. Still stinks.
It still stinks. Yes, it does.
Well, 3rd and long here. They got trips coming out to the right.
Not a lot of defenders on the right side of the screen there.
Again.
One high safety.
He read it.
Stevens going to throw it to the other side, but there's more defenders. Interesting that he did not go with the numbers, and instead he tries to throw to Michael Streety. It's going to be incomplete, and now, as glorious as that fake punt was for the Hurricane, I think it's time for a real one, sir.
I believe so as well. If they call another fake punt here, they might have money on the game.
Man, 4th and 16. The punter, Dylan Groves, out there. We assume to actually kick this time. And once again, the return man is Brant Kugler for the Ross Rams. Again, below 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Good
Here's
snap.
the kick for Groves. And it looks like
Get out of the way, boys.
Kugler's not going to touch it, and it's going to bounce
Ooh,
and
die
die inside the
4-yard
5-yard line. Are you kidding me? Look at that punt. Wow.
You got to feel good there. Like we talked about, Dylan Groves, he's a junior. Excellent punt, good spin, good hang time, and it just died.
Beautiful, beautiful punt. And now the Ross Rams are going to be looking at a 97-yard field. Well, they got 4 minutes left in this quarter and 12 in the next. If they want to take a 16-minute possession and try to tie the game up right before halftime, triple option football, right, Dan?
Exactly.
Control the clock.
Crazier things have happened.
Y'all think I'm joking? I'm sure that's exactly got to be in the mind of somebody there for Ross. One man all by himself at the top of the formation, the other 10 all bunched up together in the veer triple option. Handoff up the middle.
To the fullback.
Kunkel wrapped up and brought down.
He keeps his legs churning there even when brought down. Number 3 is going to be a part of that.
Rickman,
Number 3.
the one who caught the touchdown earlier today.
He's having a busy night.
Man. And, yeah, I agree with you, Dan. Kunkel is a hard, ferocious runner. I mean, the first hit does not bring him down. He keeps those legs churning, and that's what you want to see from a running back, fullback.
Number 5, he's 215 pounds. If he continues to run that hard, he's going to wear down Wilmington's defense. And there it is again.
Handoff to Kunkel again. Look at him lower his head and take some contact and run over the defender. The defender, Stevie Rickman's going to get the tackle there, but really he was the one that received the hit.
That's one of those, yeah, you can brag in film room, hey, I made a tackle. But really, you just kind of, yeah.
In Soviet Russia, tackle makes you. First and 10 for the Ross Rams. Two men in motion. I formation.
Ross coming out in the eye. They got 2 wide receivers out to the outside trying to extend the defense.
Handoff up the middle. And Kunkel's going to get about 4 more yards there. We've not seen Severance run the ball on a keeper yet tonight, Dan.
Yeah, that actually wasn't Kunkel. Kunkel was out lead blocking for that, I think.
It is number 3.
Mason
Thank
Smith.
you,
He's
Mason
a senior,
Smith.
Yeah.
Good call on that, Dan. Good eyes.
It is hard to see these
yellow numbers on white jerseys.
Yeah, we're gonna make a petition, Ross.
Hey, Ross, get you some maroon numbers, guys. We want to give you credit, please. Second down and 7 for the Rams.
Again, spread all the way against the hash marks is the wide receiver. There it goes.
Handoff to Kunkel. Finally wrapped up near the line to gain, and that is Michael Streety, the senior on defense, and Ross is going to have enough for a first down.
Yes.
As they churn and churn and churn, we're going to be down below 2 minutes left to go in the quarter before this ball gets snapped.
And this is part of the Ross blueprint. Slow the game down, physical approach, long possessions, and the most important thing they're doing, they are keeping Jake Stevens and his offense off the field.
Well, you looked at that Mount Healthy 62-35 score, and you wonder how there are that many possessions in a Ross football game, because that's not the way the Rams like to play it.
No.
Down to 1 second on the play clock. This could be delay a game if the back judge sees it, and he does. A 5-yard penalty on the Rams, and that's not what you want to see when you're on the triple option. I believe the time-honored phrase, I know John Fox used this with the 03 Panthers that made the Super Bowl, is stay on schedule.
Yep.
First and 15 now for the Ross Rams.
Here's the other thing that does is that's going to create some nervousness in the quarterback. Nervous quarterbacks have high throws.
If they throw.
True. Well,
they won 34-0 last week, and Emory Severance threw 1 pass in that game. Handoff up the middle. Kunkel again pummeling some Hurricane members, but Jesse Keith with the tackle.
You know, it's interesting. Normally Hurricanes pummel areas, but Ross is definitely throwing punches for the country right now. Second and 11 here for Ross coming out. Once again, Kunkel is going to be the running back behind the quarterback, Emory Severance, who has not had a run so far tonight. Motion going to the left.
And here's Emory Severance with the run.
And that
a possible grab of a face mask,
yeah.
and 2 different referees saw it. Oh, yeah. That's going to be a penalty on the Hurricane.
Looks like that's going to be on number 30. This is a name. We're going to try to get it right, young man.
All right.
0-1 Chaka.
0-1 Chaka with the face mask penalty.
They told us going into the game, we were going over the roster list with Wilmington's announcer, and we were trying a couple of the names, and he's like, all right, try 30 for us. And,
Yeah. It's a personal foul face mask. Yeah, Chaka's last name is spelled C-I-O-C-A.
Listen,
It's a major award. It must be Italian, right, Dad?
Fragile.
It's going to be a first down and 10 as Ross has gotten nearly to midfield already, and not a very long amount of time. We're down
for a
to
Ross
minute
drive.
10. Oh, yeah. I mean, they started their own 3, and they've only had the ball for 3 minutes here. They've churned out a good chunk of yardage. I formation now. Handoff to Kunkel up the middle.
And that time you're going to see it again. Number 23, Bryson Schutte, going to be able to make the tackle there. We're calling his name a lot. But really, this is Kunkel against the world right now.
Oh, man. Well, I was listening 2 weeks ago when Chris and Dan Vogt were calling Talawanda Fenwick, and they were talking about what you call a group of falcons. And turns out I had to look it up and tell them it's a cast of falcons. That's the collective noun. I don't know what in the world a collective noun for one single hurricane is. Handoff up the middle, and that is to Kunkel. And Kunkel's only going to get about 1.5 yards at most there. And that can be the last play of the first quarter, if indeed the Ross Rams will it to be so. Stretch it out, says Dad. You got a microphone, Dad. Talk to us.
How you doing, guys? You know what? 7-0 in 53 seconds.
Yeah.
All the scoring in 53 seconds.
Well, Wilmington hit the one big play to start the quarter. That's the only scoring play we've had. Wilmington has had the more explosive of the offense, though Ross has really done a nice job of controlling the triple option the way they like to. Dan, what do you think this game so far has favored in a tight matchup?
So 2 possessions for both teams, 1 big play. So what that means is they're playing Ross's style. Long possessions, lots of running, moving clock, active. But we're playing for Wilmington's score because it's 7-0 Hurricane.
At the end of this game, I have every reason to believe, no matter who wins, that Wilmington will have the longest couple of plays from scrimmage and that Ross will have the time of possession advantage. We probably know both of those going in.
Yes, yeah.
Now, how that all shakes out from that point forward, yeah, anybody can say.
Well, I'd say if either of these teams breaks the other team's record right there, that team's going to win. If Ross is making big plays, they're going to blow them out. If Wilmington is controlling the clock, they're going to have won by a big margin.
And so, go ahead, Dad.
As old Clark Kellogg used to say about basketball, spurtability. And I would give that edge to Wilmington.
3rd down and 6 at the 48-yard line, and here with the play-by-play for the second quarter, let's take it away, Dan Conway.
So it looks like Wilmington's going to come out in a 34 defense. Ross going to come out in the wing T. Severance is under center here. Handoff Kunkel down the middle. Kunkel going to run over a guy. Looks like he's got enough out to the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for Ross.
Stevie Rickman on the hit on defense there, but again, another one of those type of tackles where Rickman's going to get credit for the tackle, but he's the one that took and received the punishment from Kunkel on the play.
Big-time football right there. Also big boy football. And again, like Joel and I have talked about, the clock is ticking. Number 16, that's the wide receiver for Ross, A.J. Sparks. He's a sophomore. He's going out more to be a distraction. Wing T, man in motion. Looks like Wilmington jumped off sides. We're going to get a 5-yard penalty there. It's going to be on number 52, Bryant Conley. Bryant is a senior. He's one of the captains here.
Dan, we talked about staying on schedule, and Ross had a 1st and 15 early on this drive, but a face mask was able to negate that and make it no problem. Now the opposite is true. We got a 1st and 5, and this is exactly what Coach Commons would love every single time if he can get it.
Exactly. So here we go. Once again, wing T, number 16. We're going to keep calling your name, A.J. Sparks. You're providing a spark by spreading out this defense. 34 still for the Hurricane. Severance is going to keep. He's off to the right side. He's getting loose. He's down to the 30-yard line. Another tackle where it felt like the Ross kid ran over the Wilmington kid, but we'll give you credit, Bryson Schutte.
Streety and Schutte both coming together, 2 men to bring Severance to the ground there, but Dan, easy yardage for Severance, and the Ross Rams are digging in real nicely into this game.
Severance pay.
Severance pay.
It also helps, and it gives a chance for Severance to not have to use his legs so much in the first quarter because he is the explosion. You've got Kunkel as the power. Man in motion again. It's number 5. And he's going to fall. Don't know how that wasn't a penalty, or that was number 3.
Maybe it was considered, rather than a false start, a motion of some sort. That's what would have to be determined by the referee.
It was certainly unintentional. I never seen that before. I was worried he pulled something.
Yeah.
But he did get back up under balance.
So gain of 2 after all that excitement. It's going to be 2nd and 8 here for the Rams.
You wonder when he called set. And then did he move after he yelled set? We can't hear the quarterbacks calling.
Yeah. Mason Smith is the guy. Going in motion there is going to be number 41, Evan Gabbard. He's a senior, 6'3", 185 pounds. Handoff going off to Smith, and he's going to get stood up by a whole set of Hurricanes. Number 23, Bryson Schutte leading the charge there. Also number 30, Owan Chaka.
That's always a favorite kind of tackle I love. Pick him up.
He's suspended in midair.
And drop him like a dish rag. Love it. Love it.
What do you think, Dan, for 3rd down?
3rd and 7. What you got right here is a situation with Ross needs to get 3 or 4 yards to be able to go for it on 4th down here. If you're Wilmington, go all out and try to stop it. I would run something where I'd get Severance going out to the outside. Number 7, Levi Smith going in motion. Looks like it's a run to Severance off the right side. He's got a hole. He's going to get down to the 25-yard line. Not enough for a 1st down, but it will be enough to be able to make it so they can go for it here on 4th and about 4.
Picked up about 5/8 of it, Dan.
You're pretty good at that math stuff.
It's a proper fraction. That's right. 4th and 5 now. And, yeah, I don't know if Ross's kicker is good enough to kick a 42-yarder. This is probably got to go for it territory.
Joe Paterno, the legendary Penn State coach, used to say a 42-yard field goal is not your friend.
Let's see if they run to the left.
He never had Brandon Aubrey on his team, did he?
True.
Well,
pass play here out of Severance.
The lefty.
Set it up. Touchdown. It looks like that's going to be number 16, A.J. Sparks, the sophomore. Congratulations, Rosto, on their first pass play of the game. Both teams doing that. Wilmington, touchdown on their first
Dan,
pass
it's going to be 15, actually.
15,
Sam Markham.
Sam Markham.
Sam Markham.
I'm sorry, Sam. Touchdown, Sam Markham.
Play it again, Sam. Yes.
All right, Casablanca there.
Well,
That's
yellow
right.
numbers.
Here's looking at you, kid.
I got in tight. I wanted to find that number for you, Dan, but couldn't get a broad picture of him until a little bit later. All right.
Good snap, good hold, good kick. 7-7 ball game.
Dan, you were commenting in the first quarter about Sam Markham standing on the outside of the formation, way, way, way away from everybody. And the defenders almost didn't have to guard him because nobody was going to throw the football. But you have to play him one-on-one, at least on the outside, because of every play being a running play just in case they throw it. Markham's love of the game routes of just continuing to play and play and play, even though he was never going to get the ball, finally pay off there as he's no longer a decoy on that slant pattern. Severance is able to slide step to the left and hit the slant pattern in motion.
You got to feel good for the sophomore. Great catch. Great play design, too. Make it look like a run, fake into the left. You've got a left-handed quarterback. Let him step up, make an easy throw. Great catch. And now it's Wilmington's turn.
And caps off about a 7.5-minute, 97-yard drive.
Oh,
Forgot about that, yeah.
Way to play Ross ball, you know? That's probably what their signature ball is.
That's exactly. I mean, what a wonderful drive for the Ross Rams. You're right, and on a 4th down conversion, no less.
So this looks like A.J. Sparks, the kicker. He's number 16. Remember, it is hard to see these uniforms.
16 and 15, all in white. Yep.
Yeah. Going across
Here's
the 30.
return.
Touchdown.
Elijah Stewart. He's loose. Wow. What did we say about Ross? Patient, 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 patient. And then Wilmington, big play.
Spurtability.
Spurtability.
There it is, yeah.
That was a 14-second return. So what they score in about a minute and 7?
Wow.
A minute 7 seconds of scoring drive.
Two play, exactly.
The 2 plays.
A lot of speed there for Elijah Stewart. That's got to be a good feeling.
Wow.
And here comes number 32, Dylan Groves. He's a junior, one of many juniors here on the team for Wilmington. High snap. And I want to highlight that. Zane Smith there. Zane, nobody else saw that, number 9 with a good hold, but I did. Well done, young man. So here we are at the end of that possession. 8 minutes and 16 seconds left. Wilmington 14, Ross 7. Go ahead, Neil.
It was an 89-yard kick return.
89 yards, caught it in stride, just basically ran a straight line up the left sideline there. And the blocking was good, and he never got touched.
Yeah.
Well,
Ross is going to have to work on their kickoff here, but now it's their turn to get a kick return. And you know what? This defense is going to be tired. Like we just talked about, 7 minutes and 30 seconds on the drive, 97 yards. Wilmington just stole momentum back after that.
Well, they're going back on defense again. They didn't get much of a rest, Dan.
No, they didn't.
They got to kick off now.
you know, Dan, I remember growing up seeing so many games where a Baden team would play one of the Cincinnati teams, either be a Roger Bacon Purcell Marion or even like an Aiken or a Withrow. And you'd have Baden would be the more disciplined run team with Terry Malone. And you'd, of course, have your speed and skill players for the more athletic kids. And this appears to be a similar type of clash of styles between Ross and Wilmington.
Yes, yeah.
Where Ross is taking I know they're going to throw up in their mouths when they hear me say it, they're taking the traditional role of Baden in a matchup like this. And Wilmington taking the traditional role of like a Roger Bacon or an Aiken or somebody of that nature.
Well, Nate McConnell, number 21, taking it out to the 33-yard line here for Ross. And, I imagine that there's some throw-up on the Ross sideline when they're compared to Baden there.
Well, you're both the Rams, guys. Come on now.
That's about all those two schools have in common. 1st and 10 motion here going I formation for the Rams. And again, it's going to go off to Sunkel, the fullback.
Sunkel, yeah.
And he's dragging 4 different Wilmington Hurricanes, and he's almost to the 45-yard line. That's big boy football right there.
It's a nice little 12-yard gain, Dan.
Oh, it was supposed to be only 2 yards. His knee never quite hit the ground. He just kept lunging forward. You love the effort.
You do love the effort. It's a young man who really is a good football player, and Wilmington did not want to see him back on the field so soon. 1st and 10, I formation
Well, then
again.
you shouldn't have scored so quickly.
Again, the Rams are going to try to spread out the Hurricane all the way, make it cover all that land. And hurricanes over land is usually a problem.
And if you spread them out, that's a problem.
Sunkel going through again.
You got 5.
Blunt object. Hit the object.
You ever watch those Mike Allstat videos back in the day?
Oh,
for the
Mike, I
Buccaneers?
was thinking about Mike Allstott. Yeah. It's a very specific style, isn't it?
We call that the I don't want to hit you style. So ball's going to be at midfield here. We got an official stoppage in play. And it looks like we're going to have some kind of a helmet infraction. Number 4 is going to be taken off. That's Jesse Keith. He's a junior for Wilmington. He's probably having some kind of problem with, looks like something with his helmet. Wilmington is going to lead that into a timeout, we believe.
Looks that way.
Was there actually a timeout taken there by either team?
It might be just simply an injury timeout. He's grabbing his eye. He's in the medical tent, and there's a trainer looking at him right now. So with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left, it's 14-7 here. Wilmington leading Ross, ball at midfield.
Hey, Dan, real quickly, while we have a chance, let's take a look at the Division III playoff picture, shall we?
Sounds good. Both these
This
teams are in.
is the region that Ross and Wilmington are both in, and you can see right now they are tied at 17th place, which is one game or one team out of the playoffs at this moment right now. Ross and Wilmington both 6 first-level points from beating Northwest, and Northwest is a winless team, so no second-level points for either one of them. The winner of tonight's game will get 6 second-level points. You get points every time a team you beat continues to win. Northwest tonight is worth 5.5 points. They have the Carroll Patriots. It looks like, Dad, you got this zoomed in. I'm going to show this real quickly.
I think somebody.
This is not an injury.
Somebody got
timeout.
sick. Somebody got sick, and I think they're cleaning that
up.
That's
okay.
what I think it is.
Well, this is what happens when you compare the Ross Rams to Baden. We told you there'd be a little throw-up after the result. Here's what we get.
A little bit of biomass on the field.
On the field there. Do not ever compare us.
All right, folks. I'll take that off the picture. Who wants to look at that?
As Will Smith famously said about Baden, keep your name out of my mouth.
Well, he kind of rocked that situation.
Rocking it like a hurricane. That's right.
Oh,
my
jokes write
goodness.
themselves.
So here we go. Looking at this region, it looks like the Tippecanoe Red Devils right now are number 1. They've beaten Bellbrook, which is a great win, and then Fairborn actually is a 2-win team right now, surprisingly. So that's a lot of ammunition and firepower there. Wapakoneta at number 2, and look at number 3 there, the Carroll Patriots. Carroll has Northwest tonight. If Northwest wins, then both Ross and Wilmington will get some second-level points, which would be great. But Carroll is 3-0, and look at Carroll has played so far. They have played Ponitz Tech, Tecumseh, and Northland. Combined record of 1-8. Northwest is 0-3. That's who Carroll's playing tonight. And Talawanda is 0-3. That's who Carroll is playing next week. Carroll has been the doormat of the GCL co-ed for the last probably 5 to 10 years. It's been a while since Carroll has been at the top of that conference. And yet they might go into conference play 5-0.
Oh, I would expect that they'll be 5-0 going into
And
conference
what does
play.
that mean? Well, maybe Carroll is better. That very well mean that. Or, conversely, if Carroll isn't a whole lot better, if they lose out in the conference schedule and end up 5-5 for the season, then that means we got 17 first-level points already for the Patriots. Northwest would be another 6, so that's 23, and Talawanda would make it 28.5. It could mean that a winless in the conference Carroll Patriots team could get beat up on by Baden, Alter, Fenwick, McNick, CJ. And when you beat up on the doormat of your league, unlike the GMC where you get no points for beating up on Coleraine, all of the GCL co-ed teams will get 28.5 points for beating Carroll. That's what that could mean.
Wow. Ross going to come out in the wing tee facing a 34. Handoff left side. It's going to be Sunkel. Sunkel going to pick up about 5 yards, keep those legs turning.
He does keep digging.
He does. So it's going to be 2nd and 7 here for Ross, as they have now entered cleanly into Wilmington territory, being able to move the Hurricanes back. And again, Ross is killing the clock. This is their kind of football game. Long field position, keeping it low scoring, keeping it efficient.
Dan, they feel pretty good if they go into halftime with a tie.
Yep. Man in motion there. Handoff, Sunkel. Or they're going to fake it. Sunkel Severance is going to pick it up. He's got about 2 yards.
Yeah, Kunkel is the ultimate decoy, Dan, because you don't know about Kunkel, and he's been running the ball up the middle so effectively all night long, and then Severance just keeps it all of a sudden the last second. And
well, he pulls it right out of his arms, and then he runs it himself behind him. He's got a blocker.
So here we go. We're looking at 3rd and about 4, maybe 5. It just depends on the spot.
I'd make it 5, Dan.
Yep. And once again, number 15, Sam Markham, is going to go out wide for Ross. Looks like we're going to have a timeout. Do we have?
We have another sick player, maybe.
It's number 3.
He's coming off 13.
13's
or
coming
13,
off.
I'm sorry. Rodney Goings,
Oh,
the
I don't
freshman.
think he's feeling too good. I don't know what the heck.
Well, I wasn't going to mention this necessarily on the air, guys, but our clock keeper did say that he formerly worked the concession stand and is from Springfield. So you wonder
Oh, come on.
what the Wilmington players were eating during their pregame meal today and who prepared it.
I can't believe you said that.
3rd and 4 for Ross.
Thank you, Dan. Just stay on topic here, buddy.
I couldn't help it, gentlemen. I couldn't help it.
Thank you.
We got 3:51 left to go. Dad, I know you're holding the camera and all. What are you noticing in this game?
I just think Ross can't give up the big play. I think they're fine. I sense they're going to, well, it'd be nice to see them make it in before 3:51 expires and tie up the game. And they get a little breather at halftime, regroup. But I think their punching is working, and they just got to stop that big play. Just make sure they do things well and not let the biggest plays get through them.
Severance, and he's stopped. It's going to be number 55.
There's a ball loose, guys. There's a ball loose on the play.
It is. The ref just threw his orange flag.
I think Ross has got it.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
like
The
It's gonna
beanbag
be-
came out.
Ross ball about 4th and 7 here. Cumberland with the big-time tackle in the backfield. Severance going in motion. He made a man miss in the hole, and he's going to get stood up at about the 26-yard line. That'll make it 3rd down and about 9, maybe 10 for the Rams. 1 minute and 23 seconds left in the second quarter. Neil, what are you thinking?
Time critical. I think it's a 3rd down. They probably got to pass it again.
See, here's my thought. Can your kicker make a long field goal? Get something short here. Try to give the opportunity for the offense to go for it.
And we're outside of
Severance,
30.
he's got a man.
There's your pass.
There it is. Down inside the 5-yard line. Big time play there
Evan
by
Gabbard.
Emery Severance.
Evan Gabbard with the catch there, the tight end out in the flat there, Dan.
3 for 3 throwing the football is Severance tonight. Doing a great job. 56 seconds left. There's plenty of time. And remember, Ross has their timeouts so they can be able to burn one. And it looks like that's exactly what structure.
Any kind of real good hard, maybe down there possibly. We'll have to ask at halftime and see if a landline of some sort might work for us.
So here we go. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line for the Ross Rams. Once again, we want to highlight Emery Severance is 3 for 3 throwing the football. When he has moved and had to make it, he has had it for his team.
They may have found a little chink in the armor of Wilmington, the passing.
Well, and I also think this Wilmington defense is tired because think about this. Ross got the ball with, 3 minutes left in the first quarter? And Wilmington has run 0 offensive plays.
That's true. That's so true.
It was about 8:20 on the second quarter.
You had 4 minutes left to go in the
after they
first.
scored. It was about 8:20.
4 in the first. They got it all the way to 8:20
All the way
on the
8:20.
long drive.
7.5
Then you have the kickoff return, so Wilmington's offense still didn't get on the field.
Defense had to come back, and
the defense has been playing defense
they're
ever
still
since.
going.
Yeah. So here we go. So 51 seconds left. Ross coming out 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. Severance faking it to Kunkel, and he's going to get in. Touchdown, Ross! 14-13 with 48 seconds left.
Now I can say it. Severance pay.
Well, I'll tell you what, he is nifty in the hole. They had a crack at him, Wilmington did. Couldn't get him down. He made a guy miss, and he made him look silly in the process. And here we are, an extra point away
How
from a
long was
tie
that
ball
TD,
game.
Dan?
3 yards.
3 yards.
And Severance is the holder on the extra point.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
So here with 48.2 seconds left, it's going to be Wilmington 14, Ross 14. The question is, can Ross make a tackle on special teams?
And make sure that they can kind of pin them back, right?
Well, we'll see how many lead changes happen in the fourth quarter again this year.
Well, consider this. The last 5 quarters that these two teams have played have now seen 6 lead changes. This has been good football between 2 really evenly matched teams. And like Joel said, they're 2 Division III teams at the 17 line trying to get to the playoffs. Winning this game tonight is huge to be able to get not only a playoff seed, but both of these teams are good enough to host a playoff game.
And good second-level points for each team, too.
Well, especially if they can keep winning after the game is over.
After this
with.
game,
That's
yeah.
exactly right. That's exactly right.
So it's a good time to cash in.
So it looks like it's going to be the kicker, we believe, Sam Markham, sophomore. Going back
no,
to
this was 16. Remember, 16 and 15 look almost the same. Sparks, right?
Sparks.
That is 16. Okay.
AJ Sparks, I am sorry, buddy, but I did call you out as the other guy earlier. So.
Rodney Dangerfield.
And it's going to bounce. Oh,
Ooh.
It's going to be recovered there by number 27.
Yep.
And that is Ashton King, the freshman. Good hands by him. Did not panic. Caught the ball and then went down.
That is the semblance of an onside kick. It was so rapid, but he just grabbed it.
When I was a senior in high school, we were playing a team. We had our kicker get injured, so we had some random kid go out and kick the ball. The other team turned around to go run for it. And as the kid turned around, it kicked him in the butt.
In the back.
And then it turned into a perfect onside kick. The problem was we were so slow we didn't get to it.
Oh, no.
1st and 10 here at the 44-yard line. Yeah, I didn't have any glory days in high school football. Going to be moving out to the right. First offensive play since the first quarter, and it's incomplete as they are a little sluggish there, Jake Stevens.
Nearly picked.
Well, I'm looking for the spurtability factor, and that if Ross can defend the pass.
Yeah. So 2nd and 10 here, 43 seconds left for Wilmington. Jake Stevens is back in at quarterback, and yes, this is the first time they've been on the field since the second quarter, or since the first quarter.
Yeah. Time of possession absolutely being dominated by Ross right now.
Trips right against the 3-man front for the Rams. Stevens are going to rotate the pocket to the right. Easy completion out there. Tackled out of bounds. He got out of bounds. So 35 seconds left here even. 3rd and about 2 after the catch there by number 6, Michael Streety. Or number 5, Elijah Stewart. Third and 3 trips left here. No huddle out of Wilmington. Quick pass again. This one is going to be to Elijah Stewart, and Stewart again going to get out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Late flag. There's the flag.
Late hit on number 11 for the Rams. That's going to be Cash Alvis. He's a sophomore.
That is frustrating if you're Ross. That's going to put Wilmington in a position where you might be looking at some points right before halftime. They got 29 and a half seconds left and a clock stoppage to boot, Dan.
Yes.
Ooh.
So 2 timeouts here for Wilmington. 29 seconds left at the 25-yard line left hash.
We were under a minute, right, on this possession?
Correct.
Yeah.
They're doing everything
seconds.
quick.
Quick strike, baby.
I imagine Ryan Evans is thinking
Problem.
6 here. Blitz coming from the Rams. Stewart's got time. He's
got a
looking to the
man.
right. He's got him. And
He managed to get out of bounds accidentally.
Yeah.
He was trying to stay in. I don't know why.
It's going to be number 3, Stevie Rickman, the junior who caught the touchdown pass earlier.
The refs are calling wind it.
Okay, so the
Now
clock
they're stopping.
stopped because of the first down. Now we have a timeout in favor of Wilmington. So there's 19.8 seconds left. Wilmington with 1 timeout.
So basically, the pass was caught there on the outside by Rickman. He had the opportunity to get out of bounds. He didn't. He broke a tackle and had the first down and had a second opportunity to get out of bounds. He didn't. He got tackled in bounds. The clock is stopped by the referee momentarily to reset the chains, and then they wind it, and then Coach Evans realized it and got the timeout then. We're now down to 19.8 remaining in the second quarter.
So, yeah, like we talked about, Coach Evans here, he's thinking 6, as there is 15 yards between Wilmington and another touchdown.
Who'd have thunk it?
They score quickly.
Yeah, Jake Stevens, he makes plays with his arm and his intelligence, and he's got receivers who are making plays in space. Starting to get a little bit loud here for the Wilmington fan base. They need to be quiet. Stevens going back to pass.
I don't
and
think
it's
that was
dropped by
complete.
number 14, Joe Pooler.
If you're Wilmington, you might actually be thankful that that pass was dropped.
Yes.
You weren't going to gain a whole lot on that.
It was a wheel route. It just did not work. The running back turned around a little bit early, it looked like, and the quarterback threw the ball early. Stevens got to hold on to it. 2nd and 10, 16.3 seconds left. Wilmington with 1 timeout, right hash. Again with the trips formation here. Ross with 3 down linemen trying to get after Stevens here. Jake has to make a man miss. He's taken off. He's going to get down inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line.
Short of the first down, so the clock will run except for a timeout.
So 6.9 seconds left. No more timeouts here for the Hurricanes.
Looks like do or die.
Had Wilmington been able
to get out of bounds.
Well, they weren't going to go out of bounds in the middle of the field, but had they got another yard-ish.
I meant about 2 plays ago, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
He run upfield a couple times and should have won out.
Yep.
Saved them a timeout.
Yep. Had they been able to do that and get another yard or so, then they would have been able to get a clock stoppage and a spike. But with less than 7 seconds left, it may not have mattered anyway. They may only have 1 or 2 shots at this thing.
Thing is, it's so tempting to kick the field goal
That's true.
Or you
could
can
get
do
three.
I would say do a quick end zone pass. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you probably still have a little time left for a field goal.
And if you do get a first down and go down right away, you would have time to spike it theoretically. Maybe.
So stick around, folks. At halftime, we're going to be interviewing Mikey Brown Jr. He's a Wilmington grad. He had the big catch to win the game last year. So here we go. 3rd and 1. 6.9 seconds left here for Wilmington. Ross threatening blitz. They're going to bring it.
Jump ball.
Looks like we
Came
got a
down with
touchdown.
it. Stevie Rickman.
That's
There's
his
that
second
man
of the night.
again.
Yeah. 3.4 seconds left here for Wilmington. They're going to increase the lead to 20-14. Touchdown, Stevie Rickman.
Wow.
And they left 3.4 seconds on the clock. It's like Larry Bird. He says, I'm going to shoot it right here in your face. And he did, and he made it. And the guy said, wow.
How about
He said, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock.
clutch drive there for the Hurricane? Took 45 seconds. They only had 2 timeouts, and they got tackled in bounds twice.
Very, very impressive.
Well, that's your problem. Ross has got to contain.
Yes, they do.
They just got to contain.
Well, it's so hard to contain a Hurricane.
It's hard to stop a hurricane.
It is. So this should be the last play of the first half. There's going to be 3.4 seconds left. 21 for Wilmington, 14 for Ross. Remember that Ross will start off the second half by receiving the opening kick.
That'll help.
This is looking like a game similar to last year in terms of back and forth they go. What a great, great rivalry here. We're glad to hear they're going to be renewing this for the next 2 years at least after this game.
Yeah, that was something that I talked about with the coach before the game. And Coach Commons said we wanted to continue this game. It makes sense to continue to play it.
It's a wonderful rivalry. And some second-level points available because both these teams are typically good to win a game or 2 or 3 or 4 more after the season continues.
I've enjoyed it. It's been a good game.
Well, we knew this was a game we wanted to do. You know, Chris and I talked about this, looked at the schedule, circled this one, said this one should be fun.
So far it has been. Good kick there.
Swift kick.
Swibber.
Danny Vogt, they listen to you. They watch your Lakota East Hamilton broadcast the weekend. They listen to you.
Good recovery there by number 3 for Ross. That's going to be Mason Smith, the senior, making a smart decision and just get on the ball.
Let's see if they knee it.
Yep.
I would think a knee would be appropriate here.
Yeah.
Don't
I
want to
agree.
risk anything on a bad snap, fumble, bad exchange. I don't see Emory Severance trying to throw this ball and chuck it 82 yards in the air. That's not really what Ross's offense is built for, and there's really no reason for it with 2.5 left.
No, you get the ball to start the second half. Just be able to take a relaxing moment and, well, they're going to run it, it looks like. Make them tackle Kunkel one last time, probably. Yep, there it is.
There's Kunkel.
I wouldn't want to hit him. All right, so here we are at the half. Wilmington 21, Ross 14. Stick around, folks. You're going to want to hear this interview that we're going to have with last year's hero, Mikey Brown Jr., the Wilmington graduate.
So, Dan, you were telling me, we were talking to the coaches on the coaching staff about last year's game, and you said there were 4 lead changes last year in the game.
In the fourth quarter,
In the fourth quarter. Absolutely. So we bring in here now onto the screen, if we can see it here. Oh, my goodness. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We'll see. This is Mikey Brown Jr. Now, Mikey, you're now a freshman in college?
Yes, sir.
Where at?
Ohio Northern.
Ohio Northern. That's in Ada, correct?
Yep.
Excellent. What brings you back down here tonight? I mean, obviously a football game, but
I knew this was last year. This was a tough game, and so one of my buddies, actually, that played at Ross last year, was talking to me about how our high school teams were playing each other, and we decided to both come down here and see.
so you got a Ross buddy that's up at Ohio Northern.
Yeah, playing with me. Yep.
So your teammates.
Yes.
Who's your Ross buddy?
I forget his name, but
I
I know he was on the O-line. But, yeah.
He's off. Well, if you don't know the name of your offensive lineman, that means he probably hasn't committed a holding penalty yet. That's
True.
not a
That's a
bad
good
thing.
sign, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very good sign when you don't know the name of your lineman. So last year, Ross has a lead late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Evans told me that you missed, no offense, you missed a wide open touchdown catch. What happened?
So, I think in the moment, I was just too happy that I was wide open.
Uh-huh.
And I just didn't catch the ball with my eyes and tuck it in. I dropped it. And then all I remember is coming down to the sideline, and this was a big game. No one thought we would beat Ross. So I wanted the ball back. We had to win this game. And I told Coach on the sideline, give me the ball back. I'm scoring. And
Coach took a timeout, correct?
A timeout, yeah.
How much time is left on the clock? Set this up for us.
it's probably 3 seconds left on the clock. I'm like, Coach, give me the ball back. That was my bad, but I know I'm scoring. And then
And Coach told us on the field, he's like, there's no way in the world. You just dropped a touchdown.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm giving you this
he
ball.
was looking me in the eyes, and he was like, you sure? Because you just dropped the ball. I was like, yes, Coach, I got it. That was my bad. I got this one. And he calls the play, and I knew I was getting the ball. And, everything went silent. And, the whole crowd, everything went silent, and I knew it was just me, the ball, and the touchdown. And I catch the ball, and no matter what, I saw 3 dudes coming at me. I was like, I have to score this. And then
Have to hang on to the ball.
Yeah.
Last play of the game.
So where were you at?
So we were probably on the 5-yard line.
Okay.
And we run this rub route. So it's like a pick play. So you do 2 slants and an arrow route. I had the arrow route, and so I probably should have never got the ball. Probably my outside receiver because he was wide open, and the QB still threw it to me. And last 4 seconds of the game, I go in and score.
Bam. 4 seconds left.
Yeah.
There's the lead. Hurricane wins.
Yeah.
Breaks all the hearts of the Ross people, including the offensive lineman that we don't know his name. It's the stuff dreams are made of, right?
Yeah.
That's the Jimmy Chipwood in the Are you familiar with the movie Hoosiers, or is this before your time?
Hoosiers, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
The end of the game when he looks at Gene
Oh,
Hackman and
yeah,
says,
yeah.
"I'll make it."
Yeah.
This was your great moment.
Mhm.
All right, now you're playing for ONU. You're
Yes.
freshman. You get much playing time up there?
Uh,
Having to bide your time and work your way up. The
I'm
depth
working.
chart?
Yeah, I'm working my way up the depth chart right now. I just got to keep on working, and eventually I'll get up there and be able to play on a Saturday
One
night.
day at a time.
Yeah.
That's right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for meeting with
exciting
us.
play. I
Absolutely.
wish if we would have known that you'd have been here tonight, if we'd known we were going to meet you tonight, we would have seen if we could have found that highlight to be able to play
yeah.
it right here for our audience. We don't
Yeah.
have it loaded up in the computer. But Ross and Wilmington, what are your thoughts while you're here? I mean, similar game to last year?
Yeah, somewhat. Both teams are playing good. We're having minor mistakes, both sides. It's going to be a good game. When the final outcome, we'll see.
Prediction?
I got get in Wilmington and win. I got to.
Well, our panelists, we got like 7 panelists for the report, and
Yeah.
I think it got split 4 and 3 in terms of who
okay.
picked Ross and who picked Wilmington. So everybody kind of expects this to be a good game, a
Yeah.
close game, and we'll see who comes out on
Yes, sir.
top. So thank you very much,
Thank
Mikey
you.
Brown Jr.,
Yeah.
for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you.
Continued
And
success.
good luck to you at Ohio Northern.
Thank you.
For the rest of you, we're going to go ahead and get you caught up on the out-of-town scores of what's going on everywhere else that you might want to be. So, taking a look here, second quarter score from Dwyer Field, the Hamilton Big Blue off to a 7-3 lead over the Mason Comets. Mason has been offensively challenged. What do you got there, Dan? Cheez-Its? Oh, you got cheese coney.
Cheese
Oh
conies.
my goodness,
Ooh,
that
got the
looks
skyline.
amazing. That looks like something that I might want to have somebody else talk and I can eat. No. Hamilton up 7-3 on Mason, still in the second quarter there at Dwyer Field. Here's a score for you. First quarter score from Westchester. Lakota West and Fairfield knotted up at 7. Lakota West was thought to be unbeatable when they took care of St. Xavier, but then Princeton knocked them down last week, Dan.
Well, sometimes you have somebody beat you twice, and this is a situation where Princeton looks like they're probably beating Lakota West twice, but Fairfield's getting credit for the win. Also, keep in mind that the Indians are 2-1 on the year. They have had their success.
Yeah, Fairfield is tough, and they're going to keep being tough, as they say. Here's another score for you. How about this one, Dan? Princeton and Lakota East JT Kidna and company. So Princeton loses.
And this is another situation.
Or Princeton beats, I should say, Lakota West, and now they're losing to Lakota East?
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes you beat a team twice. I know I just got done saying that.
Oh, my gosh.
But
well, we saw Lakota East week 1. We knew they lost to Centerville, but we thought they were improved.
yes.
Well, here's this for improvement. They look improved.
The other thing is it's hard to get up for consistent games. You know, you play a meaningful, emotional rivalry game, Princeton versus Lakota West, and now you got to go out and you got to play Lakota East. It's just hard to be able to get the emotions needed to be able to get the success going to get the win.
Sycamore, Middletown, Barnett Stadium up there. Midi Magic continues. The Middletown Middies with the new Coach Jones are 3-0 so far in this young season and having no problem with Sycamore. Honestly, Dan, I think Sycamore might be weaker than Coleraine as far as if you're trying to handicap who's going to be 8th, 9th, 10th place in the GMC this year. Middletown first place in their region.
Well, everything's not coming up aces right now, but give them some time. Sycamore will figure it out.
Here's a score from Columbus, second quarter. Baden and the Silver Knights of Bishop Reedy. Spectrum Sports has that game tonight on television. And the Baden Rams 1-2, kind of disappointing after having been in the state finals and then the regional finals the last 2 years after that. Bishop Reedy 1-2 up in Columbus, Catholic school up there. And so far the defenses are playing well. Both teams a little offensively challenged.
You expected low scoring in this game. The thing with Baden, their offense is going to get it right. The defense just has to keep playing. Bishop Reedy, you're going to need to make a play if you're going to win that game. Also, we need to say mean things because we're calling the Ross game here for Baden, and we said something nice and
okay.
puked on the field.
So say something mean, yeah.
All right. Something mean. All right.
Talawanda, Edgewood, Kumler Field. Both teams have not won a game this year. This appears to be a bit of a get-right game for Edgewood. They're up 21-7 in the second quarter right now. Andy Stuckert, the woes are continuing a little bit for Talawanda. We'll see. It's still early in that game. I don't think Edgewood's running away with it yet. Monroe and Big Red Hughes. It is 7-6 in favor of the Hornets at halftime down in Cincinnati.
Now, Hughes is where you'll be going next week, right?
Baden and Hughes play each other next week, and I think that might be the game we have next week. I think that might be right. I know Dan Vought's going to be out of town. I know Dad will not be available for a Baden game next week. Dan, you'll have to let me know if you're available or not. If not, it might be Chris Vogt and me down there.
We'll see. It's going to depend. I might have some plans with, we're going to end it
with a special someone?
Yeah.
Cheese it. Not ready. Here we go. Halftime.
I'm going to send a text, see if I'm ready.
See if you're ready. Well, it might be Reedy, right? Like Columbus. Like, are you Reedy? Bishop Reedy rather than Ready. I don't know.
Look, Franklin's playing CJ.
Franklin is playing CJ right now. 7-6 at halftime at Glass Stadium. Coach Muncie, the Franklin Wildcats, almost the entire panel picked Fenwick to knock them off in week 1 and were wrong. And Franklin has continued to roll on. Their only losses to Marion Local, and there's no shame in losing to Marion Local.
Well, I think that was like 49-0 or something.
Well, Marion Local does that to everybody. Marion Local is incredible. But Chaminade Julien giving him a fight. Still weird to see CJ running the triple option offense after all those years of running the spread. Franklin very much digging into the game with them. Aiken and Fenwick. This is one Chris and I are going head-to-head on, the Battle of the Falcons. And the Fenwick Falcons score first early in that game against the Aiken Falcons. It is 7-0 in favor of Coach Cranford's squad. Madison and Meadowdale. This score is 7-6 in the second quarter. And the Madison Mohawks are playing up against a Division III Dayton Public School tonight. And so far, so good for Coach Pop after a terrible, horrible bad day on week 1 against Preble Shawnee. The Mohawks have been riding the ship, and they now have a 1-point lead right before halftime there up in Madison Township. We've not seen a score yet for Dayton Christian and the surprising 3-0 New Miami Vikings. New Miami had a 21-game losing streak coming into this season. They have 3 straight wins, 2 of which count in the OHSAA standings. They played the C4 Lions, a club team, last week. That does not count in the OHSAA ranking, so if you go to Joe Idle, you will see that they are actually 2-0 in the eyes of the state of Ohio, 3-0 in everybody else's hearts.
D7.
D7. Oh, yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
They had a wonderful bowl of Tootsie Roll Pops, and I finished mine in 3 licks.
3 licks?
3.
That's how long to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll
The
Pop,
number
says Dan.
shall be 3.
Indeed, indeed. Here's a score. Ross, well, this is good news for you if you can knock off Jackson next week. Jackson is coming to Ross and Robinson Field. This is also a score that says that Ross is going to have their hands full next week. The Jackson Ironmen in the Battle of Jackson Brown. Doctor my eyes. Western Brown Broncos are not doing so well there. 28-0 in favor of the Ironmen there. We were there in Jackson last year calling Ross and Jackson.
We were.
And second-level points abound if Ross can knock off Jackson next week. Waynesville is an opponent for Ross later on this season. They are playing the Brookville Blue Devils tonight, and so far Waynesville's had a hard schedule, and Brookville's not making it any easier. Waynesville's schedule is really front-loaded right now. Brookville up 21-7 in the second quarter of that one. Bellbrook is Ross's Week 10 opponent, and Bellbrook is up 35-0 over the terrible, horrible Ponitz Tech Panthers, who cannot get out of their own way. 35-0 before halftime. That's going to be a running clock over in Sugar Creek. Very few second-level points for anybody that plays Ponitz this year. Carroll's like, come on, guys, can you beat anybody, please? Give us some points. But meanwhile, Bellbrook going to continue to churn after losing to Tippecanoe in Week 1, and Ross will have their shot at them in Week 10 this year. Not seen a score yet from Chillicothe and Portsmouth West. Why in the world do we care about that game? Because Wilmington plays Chillicothe later on this season. And so if the Cavaliers can get off the schneid and get their first win over the Senators, that's 4 second-level points that Chillicothe could provide Wilmington if Wilmington knock off the Cavs later on this year. Clinton Massey and Blanchester playing each other. Clinton 7-0 over the 0-3 Wildcats of Blanchester. Goshen and Woodward, I've not seen a score for that yet, but Goshen is an opponent, a conference opponent in the Southern Buckeye Academic and Athletic Conference.
Yep,
the
the
SBAAC. That is the conference that Wilmington plays in. Now, Ross were conference opponents at one point in time. First, and then Little Miami left after that, and that left them with 6 teams, and now Ross and Edgewood have left them. There's only 4 teams left in the conference, and apparently Talawanda is going to be joining them in a couple years as well. So it's kind of like reunite the old MML in some ways, minus Carroll and Fenwick. They just keep reconfiguring these conferences. They all end up finding each other anyway when all is said and done.
Well, don't forget the Mid-Miami League at one point had the Lebanon Warriors in it, and Lebanon and Carroll used to be the championship game for that.
Oh, yeah.
Just about every year.
Oh, yeah. New Richmond, Claremont, Northeastern, that is 13-3 at halftime of that game, and that is all the scores we have that involve the area teams of the report as well as Wilmington's opponents and Ross's opponents. So looking here at the Division III playoff picture, and again you see Wilmington and Ross sitting there at 17 and 18, basically tied for 17th place. 6 first-level points in 3 games, 0 second-level points. But you can see the games that they play. Chillicothe there is Wilmington on Week 5. That is their opponent next week. Not worth any points right now, but that number will change to 4 if Chillicothe can beat the Senators of Portsmouth West tonight. What do you see, Dan? You're kind of looking a little closer at this thing.
First off, there's 27 teams in the regional.
That's a lot of teams.
So
16 get in.
Yeah, so 11 teams are going to miss the playoffs. That's why this one tonight is so huge. Whoever wins this is going to be on the inside track. Both of these teams' schedule gets a little bit lighter as the season goes, too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, Ross will have their hands full with Jackson, already worth 10.5, and it's going to really be 16 next week when Jackson finishes off Western Brown. Jackson and Waynesville, that's going to be really, really tough for Ross to deal with, but if they can weather the storm and get through that, they got Edgewood, Franklin, Monroe, and Bellbrook. Well, that schedule looks like it's starting to get a little tougher than we thought at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
So they're coming together. We'll see what Edgewood ends up becoming. They're 0-3 right now, but they're taking out some frustrations on Talawanda. Franklin is still an interesting team, and Monroe is still an interesting team to figure out what to make of those guys. How good are they exactly? They're both 2-1. They're both holding their own pretty nicely in 7-6 halftime leads right now, so we'll see. Looking at other regions and other teams, Division I, this is most of the GMC other than Middletown in here. You can see Winton Woods leading right now, and they play Turpin tonight, which will be worth 13 more second-level points if Winton Woods can win that, because Turpin's got a couple of wins now. Moeller and Elder, always tough, and then Lakota West, the best of the 2-1 opponents. getting second-level points from St. X and Hamilton. Of course, they got Fairfield and Middletown these next 2 weeks. They're going to pile on some more second-level points if West can win. Fairfield's giving them all they can handle tonight, though, as you can see. The Middletown region, Middletown is number 1 in their region right now, over Hilliard-Davidson and Columbus-Westland. Middletown is the only undefeated team in Division I, Region 2, and that's not likely to change tonight when they play Sycamore, but they'll have Lakota West and Lakota East back-to-back weeks after that. We're going to find out a lot more about how good Middletown is. And Lakota West, Lakota East, if Middletown is fool's gold, and I'm not saying that they are, but if they are fool's gold, you will get the Carroll effect coming your way from Middletown, because Middletown is going to be worth 25.5 second-level points next week to Lakota West if they can knock off Sycamore.
But just to bring this up, though, just because a team looks like fool's gold does not mean that they're not worth points.
That's
and
right.
If you're worth points,
if you're winning games, it doesn't matter who you're beating. And Middletown's schedule, Oak Hills, Coleraine, Sycamore, this is not the heart of their schedule exactly that they're in right now, but they're winning games, and that's going to churn out points. And then if you can knock them off, then you've knocked off a 4-0 team, and no one's going to ask, well, how good was the 4-0 team? The 4-0 team is 4-0, and with 25.5 points.
Do we have a score on the Lebanon-Anderson game?
I've not seen a score in Lebanon-Anderson yet at this point in time.
Okay.
Division 2, Anderson is number 1. They are playing Lebanon tonight.
Yes.
Lebanon is worth 12 second-level points. Look at LaSalle. LaSalle has been on hard times lately, but they are now 3-0. They get to play Central High School out of Louisville tonight for 6 more second-level points. And then Withrow. My gosh, the Withrow Tigers. Look at Withrow at number 25 down there, and look who they've lost to so far. Elder, Alter, Clayton Northmont. They're playing St. Xavier tonight, LaSalle next week, and Taft after that. Withrow could be 0-6 and the best darn 0-6 team I've ever seen. It's entirely possible. They have scheduled massively up. And so, unfortunately, for a St. X, for a LaSalle, for an Alter and Elder, Withrow is a team that might be hard to beat, and yet you're not getting a lot of second-level points from them because they've been losing to all these other hard teams.
See, that would be unfortunate because Withrow, there's 25 teams in the regional. They just need to be 16 and get in the playoffs.
And they'll be dangerous to get anybody.
Because there's not a lot of points on their schedule. Western Hills, Woodward, nobody, they're not getting
Aiken and
anything
Hughes.
from.
Now, keep in mind, though, you look at Woodward, Aiken, Hughes, and Western Hills, they are going to play each other in conference play. So there's going to be some garbage points thrown in there against bad teams with bad teams. So it's not going to be 0. One of those teams, Woodward and Western Hills, is going to beat each other, and there'll be some points involved in that, but not a ton. Not a ton. Looking at Division 4, you can see Taft is at number 1, and they already got 6 points from Alter winning yesterday. They're playing Mount Healthy tonight. That game is only parents allowed in the stadium because there was a shooting earlier today outside of Stargell Stadium. So Mount Healthy and Taft affected by that. Another game affected by shooting also is in Division 5. If you see here at the very bottom, North College Hill, you will see a red CCD sticking out in the middle of nothing there in Week 3. That game is 28-20 and currently suspended from last week when there was a shooting outside, gunshots fired by North College Hill. Everybody left the field. North College Hill, I'm told the guys just all basically ducked down and played the Oklahoma drill, and CCD ran to the locker room at that point in time. There is talk of not canceling that game because they were into the second half, but actually keeping it suspended until a significant portion of the season is played, and then seeing about later on going back and gaining some points and finishing that last quarter or so of that game up. Joe Idle's ready to tear his hair out up in southeastern Columbus. He and I were texting about that earlier this week. You see the Madison Mohawks have climbed up at the number. Go ahead.
Back to the North College Hill situation.
Yes.
They are scheduled to play Miami Valley Christian
No,
Academy
they are not.
tonight.
You see, Bye?
Yes.
They were scheduled to play
And-
Miami
and
Valley
we
Christian
see-
Academy
yeah.
tonight.
Great decision by the schools. If you're going to act dumb by the stadium, then you don't deserve to have sports in the community, and that's a big loss. So whoever did the selfish decision to make the shooting, we don't know what it was entailed. It doesn't really matter. You made a huge mistake, and now your entire community is going to have to suffer for it, and that is a bad thing for North College Hill, for Cincinnati Country Day, for Miami Valley Christian Academy, and even continuing going into Woodward. You never know, did you ruin a kid's senior year of high school?
True.
Did you ruin a coach's contract year or something? Really frustrated with that individual who made the selfish decision.
Well, Miami Valley Christian Academy canceled the game with North College Hill like 2 days ago. Then all of a sudden, yesterday, they picked up Portsmouth Notre Dame. I don't know how in the world you pick up a Division 7 opponent with 1 day notice, but apparently Portsmouth Notre Dame was hanging out there on a bye week with nothing better to do. And so with the game canceled between Miami Valley Christian Academy and North College Hill, Miami Valley Christian Academy ends up scheduling Portsmouth Notre Dame. North College Hill left there holding the bag with no opponent to play there in Division 5 as you look at the Division 6. And then if you look at Division 7, you will see that familiar names at the top of this one, Marion Local and New Bremen, 1 and 2. Minster also in the Midwest Athletic Conference at number 4 there. New Miami, 2-0 officially on this list. On the 5 line, playing the Dayton Christian Crusaders tonight, worth 4 second-level points if they can beat that.
No, DC's the Warriors.
Oh, they're the Warriors?
Yep.
Dayton Christian Warriors.
Yeah, they switched probably 15 years ago.
Really? I thought they were – okay, they were the Crusaders back when I was in high school.
Yes, they were. I'll just be blunt. My mom was a teacher at DC. So
Okay.
to receive is going to be Severance waiting in the wings.
Ross, well, your offense has seen the field for almost the entire second quarter.
Severance going to
kick,
field
right?
it cleanly at about the 8-yard line. Makes a move. He's out across the 25, out to the 30, out to the 35-yard line.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for Ross. Ross got the ball with 4 minutes and change left to go in the first quarter. They have played about 16 minutes of football since then, and Ross has had the ball for about 15 minutes and plus of that.
I believe it's 15 minutes out of the 16, but somehow Wilmington leads that time.
Very difficult. You got to get all your scoring done really, really quickly if you're the Wilmington Hurricane. 1st and 10 for Ross, and now the numbers can get harder to see underneath these lights, Dan.
Yes. Handoff. It looks like
No,
it's going to be
Severance gonna
Severance
keep
is
it.
keep it, and he's out almost to the 45-yard line. Big run right there by 3rd and 2 here. Less than 10 minutes to go. Flexbone, man in motion is number 3. Handoff, it's Kunkel again. And he's got a first down as he runs over another Wilmington defender. This time it's going to be 01.
23.
23, I'm sorry. Bryson Schutte. Again, moving the chains here for Ross. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Halftime score in Westchester, Lakota West is up 28-14 over Fairfield. So trying to pull away, Coach Bolden's boys are.
Putting some distance between the two teams. Motion again. Severance going to keep again. He's trying to get to the outside. Great pursuit right there. That is number 9, Zane Smith. He's a senior. He's being looked at by Finley. He's being looked at by Tiffin and Mount St. Joe's.
Difficult to find running room there, Dan, when the defensive line, the well-touted defensive line, pushing the offensive line of scrimmage back farther into the backfield. You try to bounce it out wide, you just don't have a lot of room.
Yep. And that's exactly what Coach was talking about, Coach Commons. He knows this defense is a problem. Sam Markham is out on the outside.
Oh, a hard count.
Yep, they got him. It's number 52 right there, Bryant Conley, the senior. So that 4-yard loss on first down is completely negated. It's going to be 2nd and 9 here with 8 minutes and 32 seconds left in the second half, or in the third quarter.
As if it never even happened.
It's all right, Dan. Second half is acceptable.
Yeah.
That works enough for me.
I wasn't very good at that math stuff.
The math is accurate.
It all adds up, Dan.
And Kunkel going to go, and he's going to get tackled again. It's going to be by number 23. Number 23 is Bryson Schutte again.
Schute's been all over the place. Fullback on offense. Defense are probably leading the team in tackles. I think we called his name more than about anybody else tonight.
I would imagine it's either him or it's number 9, Zane Smith. But, yeah, 3rd and about 4 here for Ross. This is a situation where you could see a pass here out of the Rams. Wing T formation. And Mason Smith going in motion.
That looks
That's going to be
Kunkel's
enough.
got the first down at the 25-yard line.
Dan, what's interesting about the formation they had there is that Markham is at the bottom of the screen. He was on the right side of the formation. Severance is a left-handed quarterback, and so far they've not thrown it much tonight, but when they have, they've tended to roll him out toward the left rather than to the right. I don't know if that's tipping the hand at all of what's coming, run or pass, but something to keep an eye out for.
He's going out to the
Markham
left.
is now on the left side of the formation now, at the top of the screen.
Flexbone again for the Rams. That DB is cheating pretty bad on the run. Severance is going to get to the outside. He's got a block. He's got a lane. Touchdown, Ross!
Emery Severance.
So with 7 minutes and 6 seconds left, Ross is going to be an extra point away from a tie ball game. Emery Severance gets loose and has a 25-yard touchdown run. Just, you put the ball in his hands and good things are going to happen.
Oh, he's very slippery. Probably the best pure athlete on the Ross offense and causing all kinds of issues for Wilmington.
The passer that's going to be on big number 63 or 53, Blake Holmes. That's Dartmouth boy making a mistake.
And again, we thank you fans for your patience with us. We have this not landline connection tonight here at Wilmington. This is all Wi-Fi, and we've been kicked out of the Wi-Fi system on and off a little bit all night long, but we are at 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter here, and we have a 21-21 game. For those of you just joining us, Ross has absolutely dominated time of possession. Emery Severance scored a touchdown, tied the thing up here, and this is Wilmington's first possession of their third quarter.
Trips to the right. Stevens going to roll out to the right. Going to get off a quick pass. Going out to about midfield. Excellent tackle in space there by Ross. Stevie Rickman there with a catch.
He's been everywhere tonight, Dan.
He's had 2 touchdown receptions.
Absolutely everywhere.
And Joel, you would understand this. He's on page 319 full.
I turned to page
Is that Alan? That's Alan Rickman.
That's Alan Rickman,
Yeah, it's different Rickman,
Turn
yes.
to page 394.
That's right. We're down to 6.5 left to go in the third quarter. Still tied up at 21.
Handoff inside. That is the first run play that Wilmington has called since the first quarter.
That's right. That's
and
right.
it's not that they don't want to run the football.
It's they haven't had the ball.
Yeah. And interesting, before the game, both coaches mentioned how strong the Wilmington running game was. So as we get into 3rd and 6 here.
Big down for Ross right here.
Big down to get off the field.
Try to get him off. They can do it, and they can maintain some control.
Trips going out to the right again for Wilmington. Stevens has time in the pocket. He's going to throw. It's complete to number 9, Zane Smith. He makes a move, and he's got the first down.
Good move. Jacob Kakey on the tackle there for Ross at the very, very end of the play, but little too late there as Wilmington's going to get enough for the first down, and looks like Jake Stevens has got his teammates driving down across midfield, Dan.
Yep, another first down there, and like we talked about there, Zane Smith, very good move. They're going to have split wide receivers here. 3-man front again for Ross. They have not brought pressure a lot tonight, but they are threatening there off the left side. Sweep going out to the outside. It's number 5, Elijah Stewart, and he picks up 4 yards. They're down to the 40-yard line. So, Neil, what are you thinking here about Ross's defensive chances? They just gave up a 3rd down on 3rd and 6.
Well, maybe they're starting to get a little tired. They've been out there for a little while, but they still should be plenty fresh.
Yeah, I think the athleticism of Wilmington is really throwing them off.
Starting to show
right
up
now.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they've got some playmakers, and they're getting them the ball in space.
This has absolutely been your classic battle of athletic speed and space versus disciplined assignment football right up the middle of the field.
Stevens with a good throw. It's to number 9, Smith again. Short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
tough to defend 3rd.
About 3 yards and spun down rather aggressively by the Ross defense. And that's not good because Ross is a young man not getting up.
Looks like a timeout.
It's going to be a stop the clock because there's an injury time.
I think
Shoestring, it looks like, if
Yeah.
nothing else. Yep.
could be down here.
So,
folks.
yeah, shout out to Pierce Nabolski down in
Yeah.
Florida. He is
9
years old this week, my nephew down there.
And my grandson.
Since we're giving shout outs down to Florida as well for birthdays, I'll go ahead and add in Isabella Clark. I just saw her in Gainesville, my old student. She's turning 21 this weekend. And Bella, what'd you think it does?
I formation, 2nd and 8. Fake the handoff.
They got him.
Big time sack right there. It looks like it's number 53, Mr. Harvard, Blake Holmes.
Dartmouth, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Dartmouth.
Don't insult him by calling him Harvard. It's wicked awesome there, Dan. Andrew Gettler, also number 23, involved on the play.
So, Dan, we're halfway there. 3rd down. They'll probably go 2 more.
Well, you know what they say when you're halfway there.
You're living on a prayer.
There we go.
That's exactly right.
Hey. And that's turnover on downs.
It's in coaching staff is next to us cheering that one out.
Oh, they're thrilled.
They are thrilled. Big stop there for the Ross defense. They're going to take over 1st and 10 here at the 30-yard line with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. 21-21 for those of you who just joined us. This has been a back-and-forth game.
And, folks, you've joined us many times.
Yes, they've joined us many times. We keep going in and out with our internet connection.
Whoops.
It's the
Folks, we're
21st
trying our best, but there's only so much you can do when you got connectivity or don't have connectivity.
21st century problems.
Oh, yeah, first world problems indeed.
Yep.
Let's see what Ross is going to do. This is the drive, I think.
Minute 50 in the 3rd quarter.
Severance is going to take it off to the left, and he's
Nope.
going to get stood up by Cumberland, who's going to pick him up 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but they're going to give him forward progress.
That was a pretty violent hit there, too.
It was. So they were actually at the 35-yard line. They're back to the 34-yard line, and even though Severance got tackled at the 25-yard line, just stick
Forward
with
progress.
us. 2nd and 11.
Down here I comes. He spun him around.
He did. He did. He rocked him like a hurricane, Dad.
Yeah. Excellent.
2nd and 11 here. Again, you're going to see going out wide is Sam Markham trying to just simply distract the defense. He's on the right side. Motion for Mason. Kunkel going to pick up about 3 on the left side before number 4 brings him down. Jesse Keith. Nice tackle there by Wilmington, and that's going to force a 3rd and 9 here for Ross as we have less than a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Let's see how Wilmington defends the pass.
We'll see if
Ross has been effective.
We'll see if Ross elects to pass. They've been effective, but they've not tried it much. They've been they pick their spots.
Well, this
Yes,
is
they do.
This is predictable.
This is a lot more predictable, and you're only tied. You're not trailing.
Also, the Wilmington crowd starting to get into the game here, stomping on this. Oh, we had
Man jump, but didn't quite cross into the neutral zone.
faking the handoff. Severance.
But they're rolling him right instead of left.
Look who it was. How about our boy Bryson Bryson Shuddy.
That'll be the 3rd.
And that will end the 3rd quarter. So 21-21 as we enter the 4th quarter. Ironically, the same score as last year's game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And last year's game, from this point on, we had 4 different lead changes. So when I say, folks, stay with us for the 4th quarter of this game, I hope we're able to bring you the entire 4th quarter of this game. Uninterrupted as best as we can with our internet connection here, which is the Wi-Fi here in Wilmington High School.
I just knocked on wood. We'll see how that works out. If nothing else, stick around. We're going to make good puns. Lots of Hurricane and Ram jokes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Joel, as we're going into the 4th quarter, if you're the head coach of Ross, how are you going to win this game?
Well, you got to play defense in terms of not giving up the big play, because this is probably going to be a punt on 4th and 20 to start the quarter up.
Yep.
If you can hold them and keep them from scoring on a big strike and you can get the ball back, now you're in that position where you have a tie game, your time is dwindling, and you're kind of trying to play that whole Madden end the game with a field goal, punch the ball in with less than a minute left to go.
I'm probably wrong, but I think the last time we're in this situation for a punt, it was an 89-yard return. Maybe not.
It was a
It was
kickoff
a
return.
kickoff return.
That was
Was
a
it
kickoff
kickoff?
return.
I thought it was a
kickoff,
punt.
yeah.
One of the last times Ross punted the ball, we actually had a bad snap, but Wilmington didn't rush after it.
If I'm going to be
So
wrong,
keep-
I'm going to be 100%
way wrong. That's right.
wrong.
So let's
Okay.
see about this punt here as Ross is going to
Much
have
better
the punt.
snap. Still no rush.